Great. Perfect. Thanks, Coco. So as mentioned, this is a support session for called Building on Success and Embedding the Program. So it'd be interesting to hear as you're kind of possibly typing in the chat, kind of what you're hoping to get out of this session. It'd be great for others to know like how long you've been on the program as well, whether this is your the first year running the program or whether you've run it for a few years already. Because really, what one of the really key things that we want from the Zero Carbon Schools program is for schools to carry on year. We fully understand that taking action on climate change, improving climate education. In some cases it might there's a sort of a culture change or a culture shift that is required in the school. It can't all happen in 1 year. There's a certain amount that you can do in 1 year, but if it's just a 1 year program and then you forget about it the next year, in some senses, you'll lose some of the progress that you've
No,
made
it's
anyway.
fine.
So
No,
so really that's what
I'll
what
find it
what
later. I'm in a meeting. Can you go back to yeah, please? Bye.
what this so what this session is all about is how to kind of
I'll figure it out later.
maintain the
And then
momentum through your first year, second year, third year, wherever you're up to, and making sure that it kind of starts to become just part of the way that the school functions. And really that's we see the biggest successes from schools who have been on our program. I mean we started in 2020 to 21 with a pilot, and 2021 to 22 was our first full year. So the schools who have been kind of on board since then or in the past few years are really ones getting lots of success. So we'll start off just with a quick. I'm going to just quickly kind of mention where you should be roughly in the program, and then talk about kind of what does it success look like for the different aspects of the sort of four key aspects of the program. Talk a little bit about what's new for next year, and then some of you may have done this already, but yeah, really encourage you to sign up to the program for 2026 to 27. Um, so yeah, we should be roughly up, kind of getting towards the inspire stage now. So hopefully you've had a decent length of time on your pupil projects on the act stage. If I mean, no one sticks exactly to the key dates calendar from start to finish to the end of the year. But if you've been kind of roughly on track, you should be kind of rounding off your projects. There's a really nice outdoor session, which, especially at this time of year, is good to get the pupils outside. Session 23, which is exploring nature through creativity. And there's a lovely activity around kind of creating a story using natural objects that the pupils can find. And then from this week, the 15th of June, for the next 3 weeks, there are three sessions around which are part of the Inspire stage. And the Inspire stage is encouraging you to kind of broaden your impact beyond the school, or kind of within the school and potentially beyond the school. So it's about encouraging pupils to maybe do an assembly, get some write an article for the school newsletter, maybe get the community involved by being involved with the school summer fair to showcase what they've done. There's also a campaigning for wider change session, which encourages them to take part in a letter writing to their MP or local council activity. So if that's something that sounds interesting, then we encourage you to do that. And then the final session is as kind of a reflection session, looking back on what they've done throughout the program, looking at what they've learned, looking at the skills that they've developed, and then kind of looking to the future about how that can be built on in subsequent years. Um, so we encourage you to do those as much as possible. If you're still in the act stage and you've got kind of bits and pieces to finish off with your project, for that's totally fine. But at least try to get that kind of final session, that reflection session, fit in is an important one to do. And then that rounds off the program for the year. For the thing that all teachers look forward to, the last thing on there is the summer holidays, which yeah, we're looking forward to those too. Um, so what does success look like in the program? And here I think what's important to point out, if you are in the first year of the program, um, actually, just kind of check in there. Have people said? I recognize a few names and faces already on the call, but have people said roughly? Are they generally just on year one of the program or year two or three? Um, have you got a sense from?
No, I not from the chat, but maybe if people want to add in the chat if they're a repeat school or if this is their first school, that'd be great.
Yeah, if this is your first year or whether you've been doing the program for a few years. But essentially, what I want to, the most important point to make, I think, is that, as I mentioned before, you can't do everything in the first year. The first year that you do something like this, or you may have kind of run other programs and you're kind of coming to this, but either way, you can't do everything in one year. So in terms of the pupil sessions, what we say success would be in the first year is to complete most of the pupil sessions and run some projects. What we find very commonly with the schools who are doing it in the first year is they get really involved with the projects. Sometimes the projects get kind of a bit out of hand and get a bit bigger, and it's hard to kind of round them off and finish them. And so there's not much time to do the Inspire stage sessions, and that's totally fine. The aim is to kind of get through the explore and the investigate stage, do run some projects, and then kind of have an evaluation at the end. If you can do the Inspire stage as well, that's great, but it's not essential. And if you've missed out sessions along the way, that's totally fine. If you're then continuing that for the second year and third year and fourth year, what we find is schools that kind of have repeated the program year on year. The projects become a bit more realistic, and you can work with the pupils to kind of try to make the projects more realistic, achievable, and then set an actual end date for where, like, if you go, the pupils can't go beyond a set date, so that then you are able to complete the full Inspire stage. Having said that, I'm going to mention a change to that for next year, because we are changing the Inspire stage a little bit. But essentially, yeah, the more you get used to running the program, the better you should be at kind of actually managing to fit in all of it. And if you can see that you're getting behind, kind of you can skip out like one or two of the sessions at different stages, to make sure you get all the way to the end. The second thing is the staff CPD sessions. That's a second aspect of the program to mention. So what I would say in year one, if you do hold at least one of the staff CPD sessions, then I think that is success. If you if you've done other aspects of the program but haven't managed to schedule any staff CPD, that's also totally fine. I wouldn't get too hung up about it. We do find that we get good feedback from schools who have implemented the sessions. Obviously, for some schools on the premium program, we actually come to the school and deliver the sessions for you. So that can be beneficial. I mean, there is a cost involved in that, or we get some additional funding in order for us to do that. But if you aren't able to access that, what I would say in the second year is to really like start a bit earlier. We do provide two resources for two CPD sessions, and if you can actually kind of think about scheduling them for at some point next year now and get them into the CPD calendar, then yeah, you're getting a step ahead. What we really encourage schools in the first instance to run those two sessions separately. There's quite a lot to cover, and we've done a few sessions where we combine them both into one session, and it feels quite rushed to get all of it into an hour. So if you can set aside two CPD sessions, the first one is about how to get staff involved in kind of the sustainability initiatives, reducing the school's carbon footprint, supporting pupil projects, and then the second one is really about the teaching and how you can embed sustainability and climate within your teaching for all year groups and all different subject areas. If for schools who have done that once or twice and they feel like actually beyond that, it becomes a bit more of a kind of an annual check-in as to progress made and kind of setting out targets for next year, then it is possible to kind of put the two sessions together, and just have a kind of a yearly check-in on, how we're getting on with our carbon footprint, how we're getting on at embedding climate and sustainability with the different classes, and then we do have an option for that within our resources for a single CPD session. Um, and so, yes, success in year two and beyond would be to actually make sure that that is in the calendar, and it's just a once a year or twice a year if you can fit both of them in. Check in on those aspects. um, then the next thing element of the program to just mention is this estimate of your school's carbon footprint. Um, in the first year, success could be actually just completing the carbon footprint calculator. Obviously, you if you haven't had previous year's results, then that becomes your baseline, and then kind of for year two and beyond, then you can actually use that baseline. If you run the process again, then you will be able to see increases or decreases, and hopefully track progress. Really, one of the most important things that we think about the program is actually getting pupils involved with carbon reduction projects and doing the carbon footprint. And if you do manage to see a reduction, then that's a really empowering, positive message for the pupils that they've actually, done something that has a tangible impact. Whether it's their actual projects that have led to that reduction, or whether it's something else that the school has done, it doesn't matter too much if you can kind of do that, run that process each year, celebrate successes if you've had any reductions. If the carbon footprint has gone up, which it does sometimes for schools, due to it could be a bit of additional building work that the school does, or there might have been a kind of a one-off thing that's happened within the school which has meant the carbon footprint has gone up. It's not I mean, that's nothing to worry about. Like, if you are aware of it and you can manage it, then it's still good to be aware of. um so what it kind of just says there in year two, I wouldn't aim to try to reduce your footprint in all four different areas. You can just kind of target one or two areas, and really that's why we kind of provide the red, amber, green ratings. Not to say green you're doing amazingly, that's brilliant, and red you're doing badly. It's just to highlight kind of which of the four areas of energy, food, travel, and purchasing that there might be kind of bigger scope for reduction. So if you have, like, target one or two of those areas, and then hopefully you'll see some reductions in the following year. Um, Equally, and just the other thing to mention is if it was your first year, and the carbon footprint calculator, just, we were asking you for data at the wrong time of year, everyone was too busy, didn't get answers from the people that you were trying to get information from. Don't worry about it. Have another go next year, see if you can get your baseline, and then build on that. So, as I say, the more you kind of do for the program, the more you get out of it. But that's not to say that if you've just done little bits here and there, you can't get lots out of it as well. And then finally, the last aspect just to mention is the whole school community involvement. That's possibly the aspect of the program that's kind of like schools do the least out of the four different ones. But some schools really try to embed that and do it very well. So I would say in year one, if you didn't involve the whole school community, don't worry if you didn't do it at all. But then just think about, actually, if you kind of reflect on how the program went throughout this year, and can then think about, actually, this might have been an opportunity to involve parents in some way through this activity, or look at what the pupils had done throughout the year and think, actually, there's one or two opportunities which we could have done, then plan that in for next year. And that can be, I mean, we've got the community involvement guide, which was provided to you last year. That'll be in the resources again for next year. There's lots of different ideas in there. It can be as little as just kind of having an item in the newsletter once a term or something about sustainability, or following what the pupils have done in their projects. We love seeing school newsletters which kind of have a little spotlight on the eco team's work, or on whichever year group, year five, or so on their work, and kind of maybe a quote or two from the pupils. It's just a really nice way to share that message. As I mentioned, it might be an assembly, it might be a stand at a summer fair, a swap shop activity, or a coffee morning for parents. There's all kinds of things that you can do to get the school, to get the community, and like parents and the community involved in your sustainability efforts. Just yeah, I'd recommend just having a little think about that as you reflect on this year's program, and then actually build them into the calendar for next year. And then yeah, so in terms of embedding the program, and actually kind of getting it into just the way that the school operates. That I think it's important to kind of get that sort of support and buy-in from the different levels of staff. So I've mentioned kind of having SLT support, having the school coordinator and the delivery teachers there. I'd also potentially add in the school business manager there. The site manager is going to be helpful. The site team are around kind of energy and energy saving as well. So just having those conversations and making sure people are aware of what you're doing in your class or with your group is really helpful. And as mentioned before, the best impact can come with the schools that have run the program for several years. So they try things, they kind of do things differently the following year, and then keep building on that, and learning from how they get on each year. And then this idea about, I mean, some schools I know still kind of do this with an eco team, but generally the best results we do get is when schools kind of find time in the curriculum, and protect that space and give it to the kind of one particular year group each year. And then each group of pupils will run that each year. Um, and then yeah, just thinking about the sustainability and climate change strategy, just keeping an eye out for Department for Education initiatives and pushes that they are starting to encourage schools to do more in this area. Um, the target was for all schools to have a sustainability lead and a climate action plan by the end of 2025. It's now 2026, so they're not really kind of checking up or following up on this. But if you're doing all of this stuff, then you're ahead of the game, and you're fulfilling the requirements that they've got on that. Um, yeah, I think I just noticed, Melissa, you've kind of been running the program for 1 or 2 years. Is there anything that you would like to add to that? Because it's always good to hear from teachers who have been doing it for a few years. I've put you on the spot there. I appreciate it, but I know you're.
No, sorry, I've got really bad sound. I might have to type it. Can you hear me all right?
I can. Yes, there's a little bit of an echo. I don't know
Yeah,
if
there is.
everyone
I
else
think
is
it's
getting
the
that.
classroom. No, I totally agree with what you've been saying. Yes, we're trying to do all of those things, and we've tried to give it a dedicated space and fit it, fit everything in more of a structured way this year.
Sorry, I muted you, Henry. I just tried to see if muting you would remove the echo, but it didn't. So you need to, sorry, Henry, you
Need to
need to.
unmute. Sorry. Yes, I appreciate. Yeah, technical issues don't always allow these things to happen. But yeah, thank you, Melissa. I think what you're saying is just kind of protecting that time in the curriculum is key, so that you've got that space for it. Okay, and then where are we up to? Yeah, just to briefly mention a few things new for 2026 to 27. So this year was the third year that we'd ran with kind of similar program resources. There's been a few tweaks and updates to kind of make sure that the stats and information stays up to date. But we're doing a more thorough overhaul of the program resources. What we're really keen for is not for it to be a completely new program and for us to send you the resources and think, oh, I quite like that for those resources for the past 3 years, and you're now giving us something completely new. It will be an evolution of the program, but hopefully, what we've done is we've over the past 3 years we've collected data, sort of feedback from teachers at each term and particularly at the end of the year, and we've consistently got the same messages. Um, so there will be some changes. I think the stage that will change the most is the explore stage, just to bring it more up to date. The situation around climate is quite different, kind of now compared to 3 years ago when we first created these resources. There's going to be more around climate justice and global issues. Um, we've also, yeah, we're also trying to kind of embed this idea of involving the community throughout the program and trying to get pupils even to think about that as they go through, rather than just kind of saying, let's go through the program and then in the inspire stage we mention the community, so you only kind of start thinking about it when it's a bit too late. So that's another aim. And we've tried to sort of um, we are trying to thread that kind of idea of inspiring others throughout the program as well, rather than having that as a separate stage. So the act will be slightly longer. So we have explore, investigate, act, and then celebrate will just be a session at the end, kind of reflecting, but also trying to um, celebrate the achievements that have taken place through the year. So yeah, there will be new resources. There'll be a kind of a slightly new look and feel, but hopefully you'll still recognise kind of the main thread of what you've been doing for the past few years. And then the last thing to change is the carbon footprinting. And basically, we've had our own. I mean, we were very proud to have kind of the first school specific carbon footprint method. But we have only used that with schools on our program. We got some support from sustainability consultants, and we were kind of very kind of confident and happy with our approach. In the meantime, Count Your Carbon is an online tool that has been developed for schools. And I can't remember how many have used it now, but like in the thousand, like two to 3,000 schools have used that method. So it didn't really seem to make sense for us to be working with a couple of hundred schools on a different method than lots and lots of other schools are using. So I think just for consistency, and then increasingly some schools are coming to us saying, we've done Count Your Carbon, do we have to do your method as well? And so we're saying, no, don't do that, because you'll just get two different numbers and it'll get confusing. So we thought to align with the majority of schools, we're going to be using Count Your Carbon, but we still will make sure that it's kind of embedded into the program. There will be a pupil activity around it, and you'll get a nice poster, because we think our poster is nicer than the poster that they produce. So we'll kind of convert it into our format as well. So it'll be a slightly different method. The frustrating thing is that it does mean that it won't exactly match to your previous year's results in terms of tracking improvements and decreases. But we just think to kind of future-proof it, it's better for schools to be consistent with other ones, and that will be kind of I think that will start to be required a bit more through the Department for Education and other initiatives. So those are the changes. And then finally, just to say, if you haven't already, please do sign up for next year. We'll send you through these slides and links. In fact, Coco, if you're able to kind of just put in the chat, I'm not sure I've updated those links, but if you're able to sort of quickly find the sign up form for next year, it'd be great to share that just with you guys here. But yeah, essentially we've gone through the details. But yeah, please do kind of register and sign up to continue the program next year. We're hoping to kind of continue to build and grow. The target is we had 180 schools sign up for the program this year. The target is 200 schools for next year. If you've enjoyed the program, please do forward it on to teachers at other schools who might be interested, whether that's in your trust or your local authority or the school down the road. Please do share what we're doing with others. So yeah, that pretty much covers what I was planning to say. With a few minutes to spare, does anybody have any questions that are relevant for everybody? Coco, are there any in the chat, or would anybody like to just unmute and ask any questions?
There weren't any questions in the chat, but and I think there was just from the hopes of this session, there was one that was like just to get an overview of the what's next as well. I think that while I have you, there's whoever's name is Whitchurch. If you could add your name, then we can also track who attended this. And Andrea, I think if you can add your surname in the chat and the school that you're connected to, then I can track that as well. Those are the only people who I was like, oh, I couldn't quite figure out who they were.
And Coco, should we finish the recording there and then
Yes.
great.